My mom wants nothing to do with me because I picked my dad during the divorce. I know it sounds bad. I have a lot of regrets, but everything was really hard after my 19F parents got divorced when I was 13. I had a happy childhood before then and was closest with my mom. The divorce was harder on me than my oldest sister Penny, 21F, who kind of took it in stride. My mom moved out and into an apartment and was just generally incredibly depressed. She drank a lot and it was just a mess. We were 50-50, but the schedule they came up with was annoying because I'd have to switch houses like every 2 to 3 days, and I went to a private school, so I had uniforms and I was always getting in trouble for leaving them at the other house or not having things. Then mom moved 45 minutes away from my school. They gave my sister a car so that she would drive me to school, but I played sports and she didn't want to hang around for me after school, so I was always waiting around and would sometimes just end up at my dad's anyway. So I asked if I could stay with dad on weekdays and mom on weekends. My dad didn't want to only have me for school days, so I was with him one weekends and her the other 3. I thought it was awesome, but I could tell my mom seemed less, fond of me. My sister was supposed to drive me, but again with sports, some weekends I'd call my mom to pick me up and she wouldn't be able to, and I was spending less time over there. I know she and Penny got much closer. Penny only came over to my dad's every other weekends by then too. We got into a massive fight when I was a sophomore because I had a big semifinals for state and I was on varsity game, and she didn't go because she was taking Penny prom dress shopping. I was dating a junior and going too, so I asked if we could all go another day and she told me to ask my dad to take me. She had gotten me into sports and always went to my games, and I played horrible because I was so anxious about whether or not she'd come. She didn't. I felt like she'd forgotten about me and moved on, so I stopped going over to her house. We'd call and see each other on holidays and stuff, but I was hurt and she never apologized. I still obviously love her and we get along good when we see each other. It's just not often. Lately, I've been feeling really down. I lost a friend and my dad's new GF moved in, and I'm pretty sure she wants me to move out, which is whatever, I'll figure it out, but it's more like she'll get mad if I don't clean, but when I do, she gets snippy and is like, "You're not your dad's wife." Now mom is doing good. She got remarried about a year ago and he has 2 kids who are like 10 and 12, Jake and Emma. They're all nice, but I obviously don't know them well. But anyways, before Christmas, my mom asked me if I would give one of my old American Girl dolls to Emma. It's not like an heirloom or anything, but it was my cousin's, and honestly, I don't know Emma very well, so I said no. It's not like they don't have money and they still sell the dolls. I wasn't mean or anything, I just said I didn't want to. But I kept asking her about Christmas and when to be where, and she never really told me. I normally spend Christmas Eve with her and she never told me what was going on. I texted her that day and asked when I could give her her gift, and she said she'd reach back out after the holidays. That hurt in a way I can't explain because she never wouldn't take my calls or see me before. I guessed it was probably about the stupid doll and probably should have given her space, but I still texted her Happy New Year. Penny got super mad and drove out and yelled at me. She said I had to stop bothering mom when I broke her heart by picking dad. I told her that wasn't true, and she told me they got divorced because dad had an affair and that I was an idiot if I hadn't figured out. Nobody had ever told me that, and dad hadn't dated anyone that I knew about until recently. I got upset and told her to leave and didn't even give her my mom's present. I was so upset. I haven't told my dad yet, but I've been really upset about it. I feel like I never meant to hurt her, but really feel bad. I don't know if I should reach out to her or if I should just leave well enough alone like Penny told me to. I'm pretty sure she's moved on from me. She's posted pictures of her and her husband kids with Penny, and I don't think she has space in her life for me anymore, and it's all my fault. Your mom is the one responsible for communicating things. If she's feeling resentful, it should be a conversation, but the fact that she basically just showing up suggests that you couldn't win in this scenario anyway. She was the one with the burden to stay involved. You were a kid who needed your mom's presence and didn't get it. I mean, I know it wasn't perfect. One Mother's Day, I had just gotten over COVID and was still super tired and told her I didn't think I was up for the 1.5 hour round trip. She basically stopped calling after that, and I wish I had just sucked it up and gone. Kid, and I say that because you were younger than my kids. You were a baby. You were a child and your parents were divorcing. You were going through one of the most emotionally damaging events possible and you didn't get support. Your mom dropped the ball here and it wasn't your fault. You were a baby. 13 is a baby. 16 is a baby. Hell, I'll call 19 a baby. Your parents wanted you, the non-driving baby, to deal with their house choices. Who the fuck does that to a baby? I mean, I know I'm an adult now. My mom used to get fake mad when I'd say I was whatever age, and I'd say I'd always be her baby, but I know that's not true, ha ha ha. And my therapist says I need to start seeing things from other people's point of view now that I'm older. Hun, I don't think your therapist means for you to do what you're doing, which is taking responsibility for the actions of the adults around you. Yeah, your mom was depressed, angry, and probably trying to pick up the pieces of her life. She was also a long commute from your school and struggling to stay involved in your life. If I moved almost an hour away from my son's school, you bet your ass he'd be staying at his dad's during the week. I'm going to make a child commute an hour and a half each day. None of these are your fault, and there is nothing healthy that you could have done to assist her. Picking her in the divorce isn't a reasonable ask, even it's a very human one on her part. Maybe consider having a conversation with her and lay this out. Receive what she has to say with an open mind, but do not take responsibility for her parenting in addition to yourself. She's the one with the supposedly fully developed limbic system and prefrontal cortex. I can try that if she ever talks to me again. Try this exercise. I know you're trying to be emphatic. I always try to be as well. Some days are better than others. What would you have done if it was your child? If you were the parent, what would your expectations have been? How would you have treated your child differently? The same? Your answer to these questions will help illuminate what others are trying to say, I think. Either way, I wish you peace. You are a child. She is the adult. She made choices that gave you fewer choices, and those choices she left you were the ones she was unhappy with. She is treating your relationship a bit like her drinking problem. She is not responsible. Nothing is her fault. She'll do what feels good in the moment, even if it's destructive, and she'll never communicate or work through her feelings like an adult. By the way, are you able to set a dad-daughter activity during which you can talk about all this? You haven't gotten good modeling for communication, but it's something to work on learning. I haven't talked to my dad about all of this yet. If what Penny said is true, then I don't know what to do. My dad has always been there for me since the divorce, and if it's true, I don't know how to get past it. You know, even if he did have an affair, being mad at him will just isolate you even more. I would ask for extra support and love and tolerance from him right now, and definitely make sure he knows what you're going through with your mom's and Penny's rejection of you and how sick it is of them to want to make you pick either parent. What an awful position they're putting you in. You need at least one parent in your corner. You're right, I'll talk to him about that in his GF tonight. Your mom moved away from your school and didn't offer you reliable transportation. Her taking her failures out on you must be heartbreaking. They bought Penny a car. We went to a K-12 school and she was supposed to. Obviously, she didn't want to stick around for over an hour while I had practice. I don't blame her or anything, but I could walk to my dad's instead of waiting for almost an hour for her to pick me up after she got off work. Waiting an hour for pickup is not reliable transportation. This is really and truly not your fault. Update, 13 days later. I talked to my parents. It wasn't fun. I confronted my dad about what my sister told me, and he admitted it was true. It was hard for me to hear because I had a boyfriend cheat on me a few months back and my dad had been there for me. I also told him about what his girlfriend had been saying. He was upset about it and said he'd take care of it and talk to her. It seems like she's been nicer, but I don't know. I don't really trust her. My dad and I are okay, though. I'm still upset about what he did, but could he still be a good dad and not a good husband? It's kind of complicated. Like maybe his GF deserves to be with him. That's mean. Unfortunately, stuff with my mom has been bad. We used to always go to the ballet at Christmas. It was our thing together. But a few years ago, after the divorce, she said she didn't want to that year and just never asked me to go again. I asked a few times, but she always said she couldn't do it. But last week, she made a post with her, Penny, and Emma, her stepdaughter that she wanted me to give the doll to, and obviously they were at the ballet. When I saw Penny the next day, I feel like she wanted me to ask about it, but I didn't. She asked me if I wanted to go in on Mom's birthday present. It's in a few weeks. I asked if I was going to be invited to her party/dinner, and she said that shouldn't matter. So I told her I'm not getting Mom anything for stuff I'm not invited to. I got her a Christmas present and she didn't invite me over, and I had gotten her a wedding present and I wasn't invited. Penny told me that they didn't want to invite me to the wedding because my mom didn't want me reporting anything back to my dad so she could enjoy the wedding. She eloped in the Caribbean. That made me really upset, so I called my mom later and asked if it was true. She was annoyed, I could tell, and told me she'd meet me to talk to me, but I had to promise I'd listen. So I drove all the way out to talk to her, and she was going on about boundaries and how if I wanted her in my life, I had to respect them. And her boundaries are like I'd need to give her 3 days notice before seeing her and not asking the day of or before, and I'd have to invite Emma to anything we did and put effort into being a big sister to her, and I was so over it. I asked her again if the wedding thing was true, and she said that she just wanted to enjoy her wedding after everything. I never ever gossiped with my parents about the other. Even when I knew that she wanted to, I never did, and even if I did, my own mom cared more about her ex finding out about her wedding than having me there. I kind of lost it at that. I know it was wrong, but I couldn't help it. I've just been keeping things inside for so long and trying to get her to love me again, and it's pointless. She doesn't want me around, and I don't want to be around anyone that doesn't want me there. So I told her that, and I told her I had no idea that Dad had an affair until Penny told me, but at this point, I didn't blame him. She could have fun with my replacement, but it won't ever be the same because she's not her mom. She had a mom and it's not her, and she'll always pick her mom over her. My friends' moms go out of their way to see their daughters, and I have to beg mine for scraps. I wish I had told her where to shove her boundaries, but I didn't have the juice to do that. But I did tell her to forget that she had me and left. She called me a bunch, but I googled it, and since I'm 19, I'm allowed to block her number. So Penny and her husband have been calling and texting me, so I told them she needs to respect my boundaries. I think I'll be okay, but it's been hard. I have a therapist who helps me sometimes, but I think cutting my mom out will be good long term. I don't want to end up like her, and if Penny wants to cut me off for that, that's fine. My friends and I decided to get an apartment starting this summer. I think it'll be good for everyone. My dad was sad when I told him, but I need to start my life. Like, I know it's kinda BS because he'll be paying my rent, but we promised we'd get dinner at least twice a week. I know he did something bad, but I kinda meant what I said about not blaming him, and at least he's always been there for me, unlike her. Your mother is acting like you need to earn her time and love, and that's just BS. She's the mom. You are the child. End of story. Proud of you for making the hard choice. This isn't about your mom's boundaries. She's been trying to deliberately hurt you as some fucked up punishment. She's been getting some kind of enjoyment from fucking with you. She's a shitty mom and a shitty person. You made the right choice. Time to punish a 13-year-old child for check notes for wanting to be close to school on school days. Also add, since mom didn't bother to come get her and left her at school. Your mom has issues and that has nothing to do with you. I can understand why she would hate your father and why she would want to put up clear boundaries between him and her. However, she crosses a line when she starts to resent you for wanting to still have a relationship with your dad, especially when you didn't know. She needed to love you more than hating your dad. She allowed the affair to turn her into a nasty person who lost sight of what really matters. Please be kind to yourself. I agree, her pain is real, but taking it out on you isn't fair. You didn't deserve that. Please be gentle with yourself. How did your sister find out about the affair? My mom. Full stop right there. I'm gonna add my 2 cents to this. The sister called her stupid for not figuring out that there was an affair when she herself didn't even figure it out. The mother told her. Yeah, just cut them out. Just cut them out. LOL, yet your sister ridiculed you for not knowing? God, she sucks. I think your mom misdirected a lot of anger and resentment on you that she never should have. To me, it sounds like she desperately needed some therapy. She kind of made her own bed when she shut you out of Christmas and her wedding. And it seems like a lot of things she did, prom dress shopping, not going to your semi-final, moving 45 minutes away, in the early years after the divorce was a spiteful thing aimed at you when she was mad at your dad. How are you supposed to know he cheated? I think if your dad's GF is now at least respectful and not weirdly snippy with you, that's pretty good. Let him know if that changes though. I think he does really love and care about you. I hope you enjoy and learn a lot of stuff getting into the independent life sharing an apartment with your friends. It will be exciting to figure out where you want to go from here. Honestly, at this point, I'm glad I didn't know he cheated. It definitely would have affected how I treated him. But at this point, I don't care, and like I said, I don't blame him for it. I would hate being married to my mom. I have to wonder if she treated him like trash to get him to chase her, just like she did with you. Instead, it pushed him away, just like it did you. Your dad staying with a woman who treated you poorly means he doesn't care how she treats you. I understand OP. She's 19, she doesn't want to lose both parents. The reality is that it doesn't sound like either parent was really great. Both were too caught up in their own personal lives to really prioritize OP's feelings. But the good thing is that it sounds like OP is building an independent life with a support system, and I think she will be able to process a lot of this as she gets older. He does care. He's told me if she says anything else to tell him right away. She told me she's just new to the whole step-parent thing and apologized. I'm just not a fan, but I am moving out soon and it might just be space issues. What happened between your parents is between them and should not impact your relationship with your dad. He has proved time and time and again that he is a good parent. Your mother has proved time again that she is a shit mom. Ice her out and match her energy, which is to treat you like you don't exist. I cannot believe she did not invite you to her wedding. That is ridiculous. It was so hurtful. I knew they went on vacations without me and had gotten over that, but when I saw the pictures and realized they got married, I cried for like 2 days straight. I couldn't believe she had some girl who has a mom of her own there and not me. She would definitely not be invited to my wedding and will never meet my children when I have them. I don't care if she gets sick and asks to see me. She'll never see or talk to me again for the rest of her life, and it's her own fault, and I can't feel bad about it.